All right, Northwoods Cardboard Gang. Today we're going to talk about Pokemon investing and tools that you can continue to use to move forward with your investments in 2023. What can give you the best bang for your buck? And this also works for your business. If you're looking for those short-term hobby moves and grinding bulk and things like that, this tool works fantastic for that. And I'm going to show you it today. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a tool, and I'm going to go over something that I found, and I've used it now for a couple months, and I really enjoy it. I was kind of skeptical about it at first, but as soon as I started using it, I really found a lot of uses for this tool, especially with the current market that's going on right now in the Pokemon TCG. You know, it's a little bit stagnant in some areas, and sometimes it's really hard to see movements and things because they're all over the place. They're scattered in all different directions. It's not like you can just say alternate arts are always hot, so buy an alternate art set and they're going to do well. You can't say go buy these singles because these singles have done well in a group and you know that they're going to continue to perform. We don't see that as much anymore. And when it comes down to even the bulk side of things, if you're looking at, you know, grinding that bulk and using that as an investment side for your portfolio or just a short-term business or hobby boost, you can use this tool in order to be able to work through that. And that tool at the end that we're talking about is going to be PokeTCG. Now, this product is brought out by Dragon Shield. Of course, Dragon Shield is a sleeve company, but they have this very nice app where you can scan your cards. And I'm going to go ahead and change down. And you're going to be able to see this screen right now. All right, guys, so here we are on my phone, and now you're going to be able to see the screen on what I'm actually working on. And first thing I'm going to do is go into my back menu. And you can see it down here on the bottom part of my menu. Now, the bottom part has got this PokeTCG. You click that, it's going to open up the Dragon Shield, of course, and if you want to, you know, you can grab a card such as this one, put it down on the counter, and it'll scan it like that and tell you exactly what that card is. It works really well, it does really nicely, and it tells you where the current values of this particular card is. But that isn't the only thing that this tool actually gives you, and I bought the free membership, and I didn't think I was going to pay for it, and I ended up buying it, the year-long membership for this, just because of the fact that it works really well. You can also do friends where you can link up with people and individuals. So I could link to someone and you can link to me and we could actually sit there and work together on actually our collections and show what we have, work on trading, and that way we know what each other's has in their portfolio. Something I haven't tried yet, but I was looking into it, and it is something you can do to create a community. Next thing you can do is go into these movers. Now, this is the one part that I really do like about this particular app. This movers gives me a portfolio of all the big movers daily, weekly, and monthly, as you can see at the top of the screen. So as you look here, there's some really good options for this particular items that you can actually see which cards moved really good today. We can see, well, that Manaphy was probably the best mover today, and that's a Diamond and Pearl card. It went from $5.70 and it went up $1.42 today. There's 33% gain right now in that particular card. Now, why is that important? Well, if you're sitting there trying to make decisions on your bulk and which maybe V cards or even EX cards now and all the older cards, if you're trying to like weed out your bulk and weed out your cards and try and see which ones are profitable right now and which ones may be worth selling, because maybe I didn't want a Manaphy. Manaphy isn't something I'm really looking for, but I've got 4 of them, so why not put them on the market now because we're seeing a good gain in the particular pricing. Once again, that's the things we got to look at. You know, you go down to number 5. Here we go. We got War Turtle coming in from Pokemon 151. That's making a $1.76 move today. So it went up to $23.39. Once again, you can keep moving through. You got the Ultra Ball from Sun and Moon made a move today. It went up to $29.74. And you can even see there's some level X ones. So we got 2 level X's, the Rayquaza, and last one here at the bottom, we've got 6 and 4% movements. Once again, you're seeing movements in the day, and these are your best movers for the day when it comes down to Pokemon. Now, you can hit the all button and it opens up a whole list of them going through. I'm not going to do that and break it down. If you want to go into that, you can do that on your own. Now, you can also hit the weekly. So if I go to the weekly tab, now you can see what are the best performers for the week. Once again, it gives you a sense of what cards are valuable, what cards you should be listing. If you have them listed, I should probably be going to check to make sure my pricing is in line so that I'm not falling behind or I'm getting the most efficiency for that particular card today. And it gives you the ability to maybe see movements and see continuing trends in order to know, hey, this has been moving really well for the last week, and I can actually jump on this maybe, and it'll continue to ride forward. Or I've got a bunch of these. Let me get them listed for on TCG Player, or let me get them listed places that I can get advantage of this particular market. So once again, you can see, you can go down the list here, and of course we're seeing a lot of older cards making a lot of movement. Crown Zenith, this Entei was an interesting one because you can see it went up by $9 in the last week. That's a big move. And this is the Entei for Crown Zenith. So once again, one of the better cards anyways from Crown Zenith, but we're seeing a $9 move. That one I always felt was really underrated, and you can see that it seems like the market finally agreed. We've got, of course, the Hisuian Electrode V moved up $1.97 today. When you're talking about a card that's under $6 or under $10 and you see almost a $2 movement, that's a big price change in a week. So that's another one where you could look at the opportunity, because I know myself, I have a couple of them. I pulled at least 3 of them from the set when I was opening cards. So now might be the time for me to go and list that particular card if I haven't done so already. We can go down. Magma Bas, and of course, from Brilliant Stars moved up $2. Now, once again, it's under $10. $2 movement in 1 week says either A, it's being used for playability, B, there's some other collecting part thing going on, or C, it just got lucky and you can see that part. Now that's the question. Is it maybe just a lucky week? We had some really good really good people buying these things. Well, let's go into Magma Bas. And that's the nice thing about this app too, is if you go into here, you can actually click on it and it shows you the 2 different styles. So you've got the gold card and you got the regular uncommon. If you go ahead and you click on it again, this thing will actually link you straight to TCG Player. So as you can see right now, it just pops up with TCG Player. So here we go. You can go down and you can see, okay, now the next one that's listed right now is for $10.29. So once again, it's still moving up. We got pricing listing higher. We can go down and you can see the recent sales on it. We did have 2 sales at $10.29. You've had a couple sales around $7 and $8. And we can look at the overall trend for the last 3 months and how well, or you can change it to your whatever you're looking for. Once again, you can use this Pokey TCG from Dragon Sealed to be able to maximize and be very efficient when it comes down to it. Once again, this week is all about tools. And you can see I created a tool and I'm using a tool in order to make good decisions for myself. So you can see here, this one is some near mints. I mean, there's the $6 one because it's got $1.99 shipping here. And then you're going to get, if that one sells, you're going to be going down into the next ones, of course, running $8 to $10 for those ones also. Once again, you're seeing movement in these particular cards, and then you can just click back, you go back into it, and you can go ahead and do the next one. So let's say you want to say, let's find another one here, War Turtle. What's War Turtle doing? So you can see there's the common, or the non-reverse hollow that's up above, and then we can see that there's the Illustrator Rare. What's that card been doing? You can open it up like that, so you can actually view the card and see what it is. You can click on it. You can see it opens up, back to TCG Player. And right now, the next listing is at $18. We can scroll down and you can see overall what the market's been doing. So it was slightly up before, and we can say, okay, it dipped down and now it's coming back up. Like again, a lot of the 151 cards right now, even reverse hollows, guys, you should be looking at those. They're doing really well. Now, what's the next part of this thing? I gave you a daily, a weekly. Well, the nice thing is that you can see in the top, they give us a monthly. So now you can go see what the big movers were for the month. So as you can see here, I don't know if the Pikachu one at the top here, I'm going to tell you right now, there had been no recent sales, and the recent sale that was even on record was like $1, less than $1, or right around $1. So once again, I don't take much into that one, but you can see here the Garchomp. Last time it sold, it was a $3 card. Now it's up to $36.58. The Hisuian Electrode V is the 3rd highest mover this month. That card went up $4.85, and I can tell you that card was worth nothing on TCG Player about 2 or 3 months ago. It was like 50 cents. So here we see that gigantic movement, and it tells you someone is wanting that card. Maybe I should start listing this card up for sale. You can see there's a Hisuian Electrode V. Once again, big mover going up by almost $4.50. Once again, it was really cheap. There's that Entei, went from a $2 card, and I do know I sold some of those Enteis at $2 back in about 6 months ago. So yes, there are some big movements on these cards, and you can go ahead and open these up, check them out, see what the trends are, see if this is actually a trend. So once again, you can go into that Hisuian Electrode. We can go into that one. You can see there's the 2 versions that are available on the screen, and you can click on it. It'll open up on TCG Player. It'll take you right to the location on TCG Player, so you don't have to go outside the app to find this. And you can go down. Once again, you can see this big spike. After 3 months, it was sitting at about $1 for quite a few sales. You can go back and you can check recent sales and actually see the data, and you can continue to break this down. You can also, in this app, which I do like, is click the button here and you can see the big drops. So it also gives you the ones that have dropped the most in the last month, also weekly and daily. So you can see Shiny Tyranitar dropped $100 today. Well, that doesn't mean much because it depends on how many sales. Most of this data is coming from TCG players, so some of the vintage cards sometimes I take with a grain of salt because they don't have a lot of sales over the last year. And when they do sell, then you could see these large dips and dives on those vintage cards. Really, it's really good for like this NTV, the modern cards, the more modern and well-stocked cards on TCG Player. So even like that Shiny Tyranitar, we can go into it and it's going to take us to TCG Player. Just to give you an example of this, but you can see there's been no sales on that particular card since December 2022. Then it was dropped, and then it went almost a year or so to November of 2023, and now we've got another sale and it dropped. So once again, there's not very many of them for sale on TCG Player, so using that as a complete point of reference is mute, but you can still go in and see what's happening. You could see if it's a newer card, why it has that big of a drop. You can click on it, look at it, and see, whoa, what happened? Why did this price drop so far so fast? And you can see the history of what's going on. So once again, the Giratina V-Star has dropped. The Charizard EX has dropped $2 today. Dark Artillery, here we go. Iron Valiant EX dropped $1. The Suicune V from Crown Zenith went down $1.50. You can see all the different prices dropping. And you can keep track of that too. Whether you're trying to decide to sell now or not, you can maybe watch this for a trend for the next couple days. If you keep seeing a Charizard EX continually popping up every day and it continues to drop, might be a sign that the market's going to continue to go down on that particular card. So once again, I just wanted to go through this. I thought that this was very useful information. I wasn't planning on doing it. So if you buy it, it's $29 for the year access to the premium. If you don't buy the premium, you can see the daily information. You can still do the stuff with the friends. You can scan. You can build your own lists. You can do all that stuff. Realistically, the $2.99 gives you the premier access. And then it also, from what I'm still not fully into the app, but once again, you can get into that monthly and weekly. You get some promo codes. So I've actually gotten sleeves from there because I actually sent some Black Friday promos for 35% off of packs that are sleeves or their store. So you do get some promo codes and stuff from Dragon Shield too by getting into that membership. So there are bonuses to it. The other thing is that the lists allow me to build multiple lists. So I can build decks, I can build wish lists, I can build alerts. So you can actually build in. So if I'm watching a particular card too, that's the other feature, and I'll go back down into here. I can go in here and create an alert for a particular card. So I can go here and I can go search a card, and let's just say, I got to change my, it's still English. Okay. So if I go in here and I want to search a card, so I want to find a particular card. So I want to watch the Charizard. I'll just put in a Charizard. So I'm going to put in Charizard and make sure I can spell right today. And I can pick one of the Charizards. So let's just say that I want to keep track of... Which one should I go with? I'm going to go with a real flashy one. Here we go. I'm just going to pick the Champion's Path Charizard. So I can sit here and I can now set up alerts on this particular card. So I want to say current value is that. I can sit here and say that I want to create alert that if this card drops down to 135. I want to say 135 or lower. So if it goes below 135, it'll alert me. So now if it starts seeing sales at 135 or less, it'll start pinging me, telling me, buy that card, buy this card, buy that card. That's the nice things that we can sit here and do with this particular app. Now, that's one of the features you don't get unless you buy the premium version. Like I said, it's $2.99 a month, or it's $29 a year. I just went with a year-long membership. I figured I'd go 1 year with it and see how it goes. See how the overall performance of this particular product goes. And so far in the last month, I've been very, very happy with it. I'm going to start doing more with the active lists. I've been doing a lot with just the management, building some of the stuff and doing that kind of stuff. But now I want to start working with this. So if I'm looking for particular cards and sets, I'm going to start using this app to be able to give me that information. So once again, if you guys are looking for that, definitely check it out in your Play Store or on your iPhone. It's on iPhone too. I've got people with them both. And this is just called PokeTCG, and that's brought to you by Dragon Shield. Once again, I'm not sponsored by Dragon Shield, but this is definitely one of the things that I would say from them that I really do enjoy along with their sleeves. So they have very good protective products. But once again, I do like this Poke TCG. It's worked very good for the last 2 months for me to be able to manage and maintain, know where my value of my collection is, along with now being able to put in the alerts and those kind of items to be able to know when to purchase something. Or if I want to sell something, I can say, if it hits this price or higher, notify me, so I know that's the time to list it. Once again, these are just the little tools and tidbits that you can use. Yeah, it costs $30, but if you use it and use it to manage your inventory and use it to manage when you purchase things, just like that, if I were to see sales of that for $135, I would save myself $30 on that card from purchasing it today, or spending all that time watching those particular items over and over and over again every day or every week, trying to catch it at the best opportunity. This gets rid of some of that work. It brings it all down so that I can see it on my phone in an alert form and be able to watch the markets and know which cards are making movements. So if I'm selling bulk, if I'm selling V cards, or if I'm holding things back, it tells me when to purchase those things. So once again, guys, hopefully this is some good information. Hopefully this helps you guys out when you're working with Pokemon. Once again, you don't have to buy it. You can just use the regular version and still see the daily movements and keep track of it yourself. You can still build your lists and be able to actually put together your list. So in there, and I'm not going to go back down, I do have my decks already built inside of there. So I have my battle decks. I can sit there and move the cards so I know what cards are in my deck. And I can also see which cards, I can build multiple decks and see how I built each deck when it comes down to a month or two down the line. So it gives me an advantage with the 4 or 5 decks I have in there to be able to keep track of what I have in those decks for playability. And of course, keeping track of what lists I have. So what full arts, alternate arts, that kind of stuff that I have in my inventory or in my personal collection. So I can do both. Once again, just one of them tools I wanted to share with you guys. I thought it was working great for me, and I wanted to share it with you so you guys can take advantage of this when it comes down to your Pokemon investment and maybe in your Pokemon hobby, how to better your collection and better your hobby and make yourself not have to grind as hard as what we had to do in 2019. There's a lot of nice tools out there. The more that we can use these tools to work with ourselves and increase the value of our collections and increase the value of our inventory, it just makes it that much better for everybody. So once again, guys, if I did earn your subscription by bringing this information to you today, please hit that subscribe. Also, hit that notify so you know when we're doing new videos on here, bringing you these kind of tools and this kind of information. And last but not least, hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated if you can hit that like button, help out the channel, helps everything move around with that algorithm, and always makes things go a little bit smoother for us. Other than that, if you do like this kind of content, check out the 2 at the end, and we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.